there's a short life in
Why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take. You're going through so much to try and deal with life.
Not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
No one wants to mention
the fall of an empire, Diddy, Terrence Howard, and the unraveling of Hollywood's dark secrets. There's a short life in why. Why do creatives burn out so fast? Is it the money, the pressure, the drugs, or just the loneliness of the spotlight? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: something dark lurks behind the glamour of fame. And now it's beginning to surface. The entertainment industry has always had its share of whispers, rumors that drift through Hollywood's backrooms and after parties. But rarely do those whispers become full-blown storms. That's exactly what's happening now. At the center of the chaos is Sean "Diddy" Combs, once a music mogul, now the subject of a
card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying.
Enter Terrence Howard, the acclaimed actor known for both his brilliance on screen and his unpredictability off it, just dropped a bombshell. In a recent interview, Howard detailed a chilling encounter with Diddy, one that started under the guise of a professional meeting, but quickly took a disturbing turn. He said he wanted to hear my music, Howard recounted.
Will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication.
So I came over, played some tracks, but he just sat there, watching. Later, my assistant told me he wants to hang out next week. And I was like, for what? That's when I realized it wasn't about work. According to Howard, what began as a business opportunity quickly spiraled into something darker, something that called into question Diddy's true intentions. Howard's cryptic commentary didn't stop there. He kept referencing the man card, suggesting that
That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid,
in the industry trade their integrity and identity for fame. These are the people that went to the Puffy parties, he said, thinking there'd never be consequences. They got pimped out, punked out, all for some illusion of power. Howard's credibility may be up for debate. He's had his share of controversies, but his words have struck a nerve. They've exposed a growing discomfort with the entertainment industry's underbelly, a place where power dynamics distort morality, where ambition becomes a trap. And he didn't just talk about Diddy. He pointed to a larger culture, one where actors and artists are pressured into compromise.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
Artists are pressured into compromising positions under the guise of networking and opportunity. It's the type of environment where saying no could cost you your career. Did Puffy invite me? Hell yeah. For weeks, Howard said. He wanted me to be his acting coach. But when I got there was no script, no plan. Just him staring. Now, Diddy's empire is under siege. Cassie, a former partner, has filed a civil lawsuit detailing years of abuse. And behind the scenes, there's growing panic. His once loyal collaborators? Silent. Publicists? Working overtime. Lawyers? On speed dial.
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies.
But Diddy isn't alone in the spotlight. His fiercely protective mother, Janice Combs, has stepped into the fray. She's already filed a defamation suit against Howard and is reportedly preparing to sue others who dare speak out. For years, Janice has been described as Diddy's rock. But now, disturbing stories from his childhood are resurfacing, stories that suggest the rot may have started early. According to former friends, Janice allegedly hosted wild parties at their home when Diddy was just a boy. These weren't innocent gatherings. Some say,
well, certainly there's a lot of information that needs to be substantiated, investigated, and those kinds of things. But when we look at people who become offenders, we oftentimes see early exposure to whether that's or actual behavior, and we oftentimes see that within the family.
They walked into rooms where adults were engaging in inappropriate behavior. Could this chaotic upbringing have shaped Diddy into the man he became? Experts suggest that early exposure to dysfunction, especially within the family, can have long-lasting effects. It doesn't excuse adult behavior, but it adds crucial context. Janice, meanwhile, has framed her son as the target of a media witch hunt, painting him as a victim of opportunists. But some argue that in defending him so fiercely, she's enabling him or even covering for him. And it doesn't stop with Diddy. According to reports, Peacock is...
that kind of environment growing up in is going to have an impact on a child growing up. Now, it doesn't make excuses for what people do in adulthood, and the form that can take really depends on a lot of different things, including things such as what are the family values? Are the family values about, being open and honest about things? Or if there's trauma in a family, do families deal with it? Or how is that child raised?
Dropping a new documentary titled Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. The film reportedly dives deep into his childhood and the environment he grew up in, an environment that may hold answers to the present-day allegations. Even more disturbing are the stories of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. Lawsuits and insiders claim these weren't just lavish industry gatherings, they were highly organized operations, complete with costumes, masks, and what some described as ritualistic humiliation. These weren't spur-of-the-moment parties. They were orchestrated.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking.
Events designed for control, not fun. And if even half of what's alleged is true, the implications are staggering. These events would have required planning, secrecy, and above all, complicity. So who else knew? That's the question that's causing panic across Hollywood. Diddy's circle wasn't made up of nobodies. These were A-listers, cultural icons, people with reputations to protect. And now, their silence is speaking volumes.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about an industry that thrives in the shadows. Terrence Howard's words, the lawsuits, the growing chorus of insiders. Together, they're revealing a culture built on coercion, silence, and exploitation. The walls are closing in. And as Diddy's empire teeters on the edge, the entertainment world is holding its breath, wondering not if someone else will fall, but who's next. Thriller than your average, the dark secrets behind Diddy's parties. Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood's most exclusive gatherings, lawsuits and insider leaks are painting.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
A very different picture, one that feels more like a psychological thriller than a red carpet affair. While Diddy's legal team continues to dismiss the allegations as baseless, the sheer volume of claims makes them hard to ignore. What's even more disturbing? Some of the high-profile guests are now being accused, not necessarily of direct wrongdoing, but of looking the other way, of staying silent, of turning a blind eye to behavior they either witnessed themselves or heard about in whispers. Take Tim, a longtime friend of Diddy's. In the Rolling Stone documentary, he says, "That's what we were privy to. That's what we were fed." Was it desensitizing us? I'm sure it was. Were we aware of it? No. That was just Saturday night. And according to Tim, Diddy's upbringing may have played a role in shaping the man we see today, a man now at the center of a growing legal firestorm. One plaintiff described being led through a maze of secret tunnels connecting multiple high-profile properties. These passageways, they claim, were used to discreetly transport guests between locations, ensuring no one outside ever...
So remember when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs? All right, so apparently tomorrow there's the Peacock is dropping the Diddy documentary. It's called Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. And the doc gets into Diddy's childhood and his experience growing up in connection to the lawsuit and assault allegations he's currently facing.
Ensuring no one outside ever saw what was really happening. Allegedly, they were an open secret among the elite, built for secrecy and control. Another lawsuit mentions a strict no phones policy. Guests were reportedly required to surrender their devices at the door, eliminating any chance that photos, messages, or calls could become future evidence. It begs the question, what exactly were they trying to keep hidden? Now here's where things really take a turn. Word is there are videos of these parties, videos that may never see the light of day, unless some...
According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having and that was just their normal.
Someone pays a very specific price. According to whispers from insiders, a bidding war is underway. The stakes? Potentially damning footage of celebrities, some of whom are happily married, caught in compromising scenarios. Think Tommy X, a fictional megastar, in a room with 3 other men. Imagine the fallout if that clip went public. Then come the testimonies from former staff, drivers, assistants, housekeepers. Many claim they were coerced into facilitating these parties. One ex-employee said she was ordered to procure special items to enhance the atmosphere, items she found deeply disturbing. Another described post-party cleanups that included unexplainable remnants,